welcome to my channel. I am the workwife. My name is Rachel, and today's topic is going to be how to stay positive in a negative, toxic work environment. But before I jump in, let me reintroduce myself. I am a workplace coach, meaning that since I've dealt with difficult workplaces, difficult bosses, toxic bosses, coworkers, employees, I feel like I've seen it all. I've dealt with it all, and I'd like to help you if you're dealing with situations like that right now, navigate that situation, through it, out of it, and customize a solution for you to, so that you're not miserable in your job right now, an exit strategy, what have you. I can help you figure that out. So let's dive into today's topic, how to stay positive. Now, it's easier said than done to say, oh, just stay positive, positive mindset, positive vibes, hashtag. It's easier said than done when you're in misery day in, day out. And I speak from experience. I worked at a job where I was literally unable to walk through those doors. It was so toxic that I would get to work on time, sit in my car in the parking lot, and be unable to get out of said car because I couldn't deal with what was awaiting me up those stairs. I had a toxic boss, toxic peers, just the entire atmosphere at this place was literally walking into air filled with poison. This sounds dramatic, it really does, but it's true. So yeah, I've been there. And that's really no way to live. That's much is made of survival, being in survival mode. But your life shouldn't be a misery like that day in, day out. However, the silver lining to this is that I learned some techniques and tips to deal with the day-to-day, because not everyone has the luxury of just saying bye, gotta go, and then leaving your job because you're just so miserable. And the key is really to try not to be miserable, because misery only just breeds more misery, especially if you're focused on it. What you focus on grows. So if you keep telling yourself you're miserable, guess what? You're going to stay miserable, if not more so. So, in terms of staying positive, there are, the main technique that I learned is to remember why you're doing this. And of course, you're going to say, well, of course, the paycheck, right? Or overtime, or whatever position that you're in right now, where you're just like, okay, I'm just slogging through this. I don't know how I'm going to get through my day. But it's actually helpful if you can keep your eyes on the prize. And beyond the paycheck, it can't just be about the paycheck. What about the paycheck is giving you what you want? Meaning, is it a short-term goal, like you are planning on a vacation? Is it a long-term goal, meaning you have a long-term financial goal that you want to eventually leave and you need to save enough money to leave, or you're supporting a family, or you're supporting a child? That is helpful, instead of just saying, well, I'm just here for the paycheck. That's not enough in the short term when you're literally dealing with someone in your face. So if you remember your why, though, beyond the paycheck, what is the paycheck bringing you? Is it bringing you freedom? Is it bringing you a financial goal? Is it, you have to examine that, and that is your prize. And so when those moments happen, and I'm not saying that necessarily happens right away, but once you really get clear on why you're at this job, I'm not going to get into necessarily in this video the techniques to deal with those interactions where you just want to quit. We could deal with that in another video, what to do in the moment. But long term, if you find yourself, oh my gosh, another week of this, and your paycheck is 2 weeks away, you can say, look, every interaction I have, every moment I have, am I surviving this moment? Go moment to moment, minute by minute, or hour by hour. Let me just get through this hour. Have I survived this hour? Yes. Have I survived this hour successfully? Have I been successful in what I needed to do in terms of my to-do list, my goals, my tasks, my projects? I'm not saying necessarily look at the clock. I'm just saying always come back to yourself. Don't look out there to make you feel better. Look inside, look inward to say to yourself, hey, you know why we're here. We're here because we're getting our ass to Cabo in 3 weeks. So we're going to show up for ourselves so we can get our ass to Cabo in 3 weeks. Or we're going to show up because I want to buy that house next year and I need a certain amount of money. And so that's why I'm here. And that's why I'm going to get through this next minute, this next hour, this next day, this next week. Because I've got my eye on the prize. If you focus too much on the negativity that's happening in that moment or in that meeting or that day, then you must become too nearsighted, and then you become focused on what's happening from that other person. You're focusing on that other person and how that person's reacting to you, how that person's talking to you. And of course, if you get really involved in other people and their reactions to you or what you think they might be thinking of you, and you're constantly looking back at yourself and invariably judging yourself because of what's happening or judging them, then you get caught up in the misery. You get caught up in the judgment. You get caught up in how, the negativity. And then you start talking about it with your coworker. You start talking about it with your family member, or your partner, or your boyfriend, your girlfriend. And then that's all you talk about. And then they eventually get sick of hearing that. They're not going to tell you because they want to be supportive. But it's day in, day out where you're bringing that crap home. So eventually, if you're not prepared to leave right on the spot, you have to find a way to cope. And the coping mechanism from a practical sense is, as I said, your eye on your short-term goal or long-term goal, and just remind yourself of that. Go to that happy place in your mind that when you've already achieved that goal and you say, you know what, it was worth it because I'm here. I'm here in Mexico, I'm here in Cabo, or I'm here in my brand new home, or I'm here with my family and we're able to enjoy ourselves because I showed up at my job mentally, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. So that's just something to keep in mind from a practical standpoint. Okay, I'll have another quick, more metaphysical, if you will, tip for you. This metaphysical tip, you could take it or leave it, but it's something that I had to learn to do to kind of keep people at bay when they're in my face with something extremely negative. And that is your energy bubble. Yes, I said energy bubble. I'm not going to get too much in the woo-woo right now, but I will later. Trust me. But for now, for me, what I did is, and that's kind of in keeping with the eyes on the prize, is that, that happy place I was just talking about, that becomes your energy bubble. And you want to keep working on, okay, I'm in my bubble, I'm in my happy place. You don't need to talk about this. In fact, you probably shouldn't. You're going to say, look, I'm in my head. I'm enjoying when I get to that trip. I'm enjoying my new home. I'm enjoying my new car. I'm enjoying my new truck, right? Whatever it is. And you keep that in the back of your mind, almost like peripheral vision, but you keep it back there as you're talking, as you're going through your day, as you're dealing with toxic people. That is the energy bubble that you are saturating yourself in. As they're, jabbering on at you, or you're in the most boring meeting ever, or someone is telling you something that's extremely negative and toxic, you say, yes, 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 of course, on the outside, but the inside you're like, okay, yeah, I'm just in my happy place right now. That is your energy bubble that you have to, it takes practice to maintain this. But that in part is how I survived a toxic workplace, is that even though I'm saying the words and I'm going through the motions, my energy bubble is, yeah, I'm doing this for me. I'm here for me. I'm not here for you. I'm not here for you, Nancy. I'm here for me. So I'm going to tell you what you want to hear. But in the meantime, You know, I've got goals, I've got my energy bubble, and you can't break through no matter what you're saying. Now, sometimes they will break through and you're going to lose it and you're just inside, hopefully. And you're just like, why am I here? What's the point of all this? Try to short circuit that, because that's not going to help you keep your eyes on the prize. That's going to then get your attention on Nancy and not you. So that's what I mean by energy bubble, is that try to take that goal and then make it almost like a force field around you, you know, to the point where, you know, people might say to you, you just seem unaffected by all the crap going on here. And you're just like, no, I'm just doing my thing, man. You know, that's the energy bubble that I'm talking about. So if that doesn't resonate, that's fine, but it's just something that helps you give you an even keel as you practice it more and more. You're just saying, yeah, I got this. I know why I'm here. Even if you just have to take a break and do it and recenter yourself and say, yeah, I know what my goals are. I'm not here for you. I know it sounds, you know, so it was like, oh, dang, that sounds kind of selfish. Well, it's the difference between being, you know, self-centered isn't necessarily a bad thing. Self-centered means you're centered on yourself, which is where you should be, you know. So in terms of your goals, your family, your friends, your, you know, your partner, you know, it's all about you. You should be all about you first anyway. So I hope this helps. You know, I mean, this is how I roll. You know, practical tips is a little bit of metaphysical thrown in there. As I said, if that doesn't resonate, that's fine. Stick with the practical tips, you know, where, you know, just remember your why. You know, and don't get too hard on yourself. I also want to add that if you're not able to maintain this, you know, you don't have to go crazy with positivity. You don't need to preach to others about how positive you are. You don't need to tell anybody about it. This is for you. Do what resonates with you so that you can maintain an even keel and just stay cool, man, you know, and not lose your cool when you're dealing with a toxic workplace. So, you know, positivity isn't always smiling, being, yeah, everything's amazing. You don't need to do all that. You know, you just do what makes you feel good, or at the very least neutral in a very difficult situation. You know, if you're interested in more topics like this, feel free to leave a comment, send me an email at theworkwifellc@gmail.com. I also have an Instagram, theworkwife, and, you know, feel free to send me a message with your story, and I'm happy to help. But again, you know, have compassion for yourself as you go through this process. Practice building and maintaining your energy bubble when it comes to toxic people. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.